Okay, imagine this scene. A student sits at his desk at 2:13 a.m., laptop open, coffee cold, cursor blinking like it's judging him. The thesis document says Chapter 1. Under it, nothing. He sighs and types a message to someone on Telegram. Let's say, hey, I think I don't understand my thesis. Now, here's the funny thing. If you asked him what exactly he doesn't understand, he probably couldn't tell you. And that's not because he's stupid, it's because the brain is weird. The famous behavior psychologist Skinner once explained something fascinating. Most people actually don't know their own internal problems clearly. In other words, they lacking this kind of emotional intelligence. They only feel stress, confusion, pressure. The brain just sends signals like something is wrong, fix it. But the real cause hidden. In other words, people kind of see like a surface emotion, but they're not trying to dig into and find the root cause. And instead of treating disease itself, they try to fight with the symptoms, which is hidden. It's like a car. It's like a car dashboard showing the red warning light, but not telling you whether the problem is the engine, the oil, or the brakes. And students experience the same thing. For example, students can say like, I don't know, writing the thesis is hard. But that sentence can secretly mean like 5 completely different problems. And this example with the student just example to analyze this kind of emotional trigger things. And maybe the structure is wrong, maybe the sources are missing, maybe the methodology section makes no sense. Or maybe professor, gave the chaotic comments, or like maybe the student simply doesn't know where to start. 5 totally different problems, but the student only feels one emotion, stress. So he sends the message, I don't understand my thesis. Now he's the way smart people, the ones who run, like, let's say, different types of services, do something different. They don't listen to emotion, they look for signals. And that author of that book's Skinner, he got a book with the title Science of Human Behavior. So Skinner called these observable behavior clues. And think like a detective. Instead of asking how do you feel about your thesis, ask something much simpler, like send the topic or requirements or another thing. And the point is, you gotta separate emotion with the actual objectively with the objective things, with the facts, because we cannot directly see someone's emotion, and maybe you even don't have to. And in other words, if you got this kind of situation with yourself or with someone else, just say, give me exactly, I don't know, what kind of things you got, like separate emotions with the facts, with the actual things that you or someone else have to do. And suddenly the invisible problem becomes visible. Maybe, in terms of students, let's say maybe the topic is weak, maybe the methodology section is completely missing, and boom, problem found. And this is actually the secret behind many professionals who seem almost magical. Doctors do it, engineers do it, great consultants do it. They ignore vague explanations and search for real signals. Yeah, it's like a signal to noise ratio. do not be distracted with the noise. Focus to the signal, aka with the facts, with the actual things that you have to focus on. So let's make this practical. Imagine like two different conversations. Like let's say again, if we continue the example with the students, one of them is telling, I don't understand my thesis, and one of the reply could be why exactly, why, like what part don't you understand? And the student thinks for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and writes everything, and that's that conversation. And let's look up to another situation when student texting like, I don't understand my thesis, and we can reply with another message like send a topic, deadline, requirements. You see, we in this example we already saying to the person what kind of things he or she should send to us, because we already know what is the context. And if we go like generalize this thing to any like a major topic or any life situation, just instead of even asking question like what do you feel, why do you feel, that's all bullshit. Because again, if person himself don't understand his own emotions, how we supposed to know that? So it's better to focus to the real deal, to the business, to the job. And especially if you got already experience with stuff like that, you asking the, exact things like give me ABC, and 2 minutes later the files, for example, in terms of with this student example, you can get the files or you can get something else. And we can see, for example, a topic which is basically like academic equivalent of saying write about the internet, way too broad. And or we can say your topic is too general, we need to narrow it something measurable. And suddenly the student feels something amazing, relief, because for the first time someone actually understands the problem. That's the moment trust appears, and trust is the currency of any service, business. It's not just business, in terms of any personal relationship with the people. And here's the deeper lesson. Most people think helping others like means listening to long explanations, but often the explanations are just noise. Real experts look at structure, signal, and evidence. Again, like if you working in some major for the long time, you already know like even the pattern of each one's behavior, and you already know what exact things you need to ask. And instead of like focusing to the bullshit, to the noise, you asking exact things. So it makes for you the job easier, and it makes for the person who, like for the customer, let's say, also things easier, because you as an expert structuring their thoughts, their process. So in other words, create structure instead of like this emotional chaos. And the practical takeaway here, people rarely know their real problem, but their documents always do. Thank you for listening. I hope it was interesting. Smash the like button, subscribe button, and see you next time.